Happy Mother's Day here on Sunday over in Maryland. We have a special guest, of course, with us coming down from Gulfstream yesterday. You flew in late last night, Brian.
Yeah, I lost 41 degrees in about two and a
Yeah.
half hours. So I'm here and happy to be here. Preakness week is upon us, and a lot of excitement, right?
Listen. I picked you up this morning. You handled it pretty well. As far I haven't really heard any complaining about
No.
the weather change. So well done to you,
Yeah, it
Florida
was
man.
95 degrees yesterday. Very steamy at Gulfstream Park. But
Hmm.
hey, it's a beautiful day out here. I know,
It is.
unfortunately, the weather's been an issue here for a few days now, but at least today it's a beautiful day, and
It is.
looking forward to it.
No, we may be outside. Let's take a look at what we've got going right now with the track. Of course, muddy from that rain overnight that we've had throughout the late afternoon.
Yep.
Brian, you probably didn't get any of it when you were flying in, but just a touch before that, we had some rain. But turf's looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, it is what it is, but it does look good, and it's going to get plenty of use in the upcoming days. That's for sure. I'll draw that Black-Eyed Susan card today, so
Hmm.
a lot of excitement. Looking forward to.
Brian, you're going to be running our morning line odds for, as you have, for Maryland for quite some time, and you're going to be running that for Preakness Week as well as we go on to that early pick five. Of course, Brian, you so graciously left us a ticket to start things off here today.
Yeah, so I've got a $32 ticket. You can see we'll spread in race 2 and in race 5, and the top pick in race 2 is the 5, and that is Mischief Motion, the one main track only in that race, and I think dropping down from after facing winners. In race 3, we go with the 6, Work Is Life, who's going to be tough. We've got a replay to show that. That is the 14 in race 4, so take note of that. Which horse that I would think would be a pretty short number in there. And then in race 5, looked a little chaotic for me. I'm going to play Money Room right back facing winners, but I thought maybe we'll spread a little bit too.
Why not? No,
Yeah.
that race I kind of went that direction as well. Was scratching my head as we were going over these going over these scratches as we are off the turf today. Let's get things going in this first leg in this claiming 12-5 for the 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Brian, you and I both have Gabriel 7 on top. This is, of course, in the barn for Jerry Robb, Alexander Crispin. Let's take a look at that last win effort. 2 back. This is back at that 12-5 level, going the 5.5 distance and kind of doing all the hard work.
Yeah, and I think the good thing here is too that he settled a little bit in this spot, and with this post today, there's some speed to the inside. This is not a horse that absolutely needs a lead, and I think that's just going to put him in a pretty good spot here. The drop in class after facing better last time too, he's kind of back with his friends here today, and I think with the post and the setup, he should be pretty tough in here.
Yeah, we talk about we go very similar throughout the whole card because it is an off the turf
Yeah.
day to day. You're talking about ascendance. I've had this one almost in my exact as well, but I kind of shuffled things around a little bit. Kenny Cox cutting back in distance here today.
Well, I think that's the key. You mentioned cutting back. Couldn't get there at 7, was flying late last time when the blinkers went on. Well, now we're going to cut back today, and does he just simply run out of room? He's another horse
Right.
that theoretically is going to like the flow of this race, but when you cut back from 6 to 7 and the way he
Right.
just ran, I don't know. I worry a little bit about him getting there in time.
No, absolutely. 5-7 and 6-3-5-7 for Brian there in race number 1. Let's go ahead to race number 2 that starts that early pick 4 maiden special weight off the turf event. We are now a mile and 16th on the dirt for the girls 3 to 5 scratches in the 1A 3, 4, 9 and 10. You go with the number 5 on top, Mischief Motion for Bruno Tessori. This is an MTO that draws in for Gene Brasino.
Yeah, the one MTO in here, and the other thing is that they ran this horse in a 1X last time against
Right.
winners, and she was not embarrassed at all. I know she was almost 40-1 in that spot. She was beaten just a little over 3 lengths. It was a good effort. Now she's been freshened up a little bit.
Hmm.
The fact they're going to run her now in a maiden special weight, I think, is a confident move too. And the other thing is we've got a guessing game with some of these other horses. Not only are they have been
Absolutely.
running on turf, they've been running off layoffs too.
No, absolutely. One of them being the number. Actually, no. Let's go. Let's talk about your number 8 in Talonade, Grand Motion, blinkers on, Georgie Ruiz, not coming off of the layoff, but you just have to go with this one on the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big time dirt pedigree here by Tappet out of a Tis Now mare, and this horse has got some recency too. And you look at the races she's coming out of at Keeneland and at Gulfstream. The Sassy Princess race was pretty good at Gulfstream, so she's got a class edge. Now, to be fair, she hasn't done a lot of
Right.
running either,
Right.
but this might be the day for her.
I actually rode the the dam when
No.
she was in training with Todd. Traveled beautifully along the dirt, so I expect the same for
Yeah.
this filly here today. 5827, lukewarm. Brittany and Sheldon Russell. Let's go ahead. It's a turf event, but we can cut this pretty early because we are getting back to the dirt with this one. But the action, I'm showing the video because we have similar action as far as what we see on the dirt versus the turf. So things open up quite a bit as far as the dirt situation goes now.
Yeah, and she's going to get 2 turns now
Yep.
too on the dirt, and she got 7 on debut, and
Hmm.
she got run off her feet. Simple as
Right.
that. So hopefully she's a little better forward in this race. She's got a dirt pedigree, and I always say this too about the two about Graham Source. If they're going to leave them in there, they got to feel they can handle it a little bit.
Exactly. So might as well roll with it. 5827 for Brian there in race number 2. Race number 3 starts at the Rainbow Pick 6. Taking a look at my ticket, I give a super cheap ticket. We talked about
Five
this
dollar bill.
a couple. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Just at $5, throw it in there. You can Here's the thing. What gave it a cheap ticket for me, Brian, was the second single that I had, which is actually the 3 in race number 6. That's a race where I thought you either go wide in that race or you shorten things up there and just kind of stick with a single. And that's exactly what I do in race number 6 with Dissolute. And we'll get to that race in just a couple of minutes later on in the show. But essentially, the other single that I have is your top selection as well. We get down to a 4 horse field there, kind of easy grabs. With race number 4, that one's pretty interesting as far as I think I go with the 4. I go with the 8 and the 14 in my exacta, but I think why not? I originally had 4, but with the scratch of the 10, I had to go 4, 8, 14, $4.80 for my rainbow pick 6. Let's go ahead and discuss that first leg here in this allowance optional 62.5 going mile and 16th on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Brian, the number 6 is Work is Life. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last effort for Mikey Juralis and Horacio Caramanos.
Yeah, it's a big effort. Blinkers went on in this spot, and if you look at your form and whatever kind of speed figure you want to use, the blinkers went on, and this horse blew way, way up with a massive number. The winner was so good, Quince Brew at 1-5, and he's just chasing him home, and he's a month clear of the rest. So if you believe it was the blinkers and you believe in that race, well, he's not going to lose this race. But you
Mm-hmm.
could also say, well, maybe he comes back a little bit and regresses a little bit because to be honest, it's so far and away better than anything
Right.
he's ever done.
Right. No, and that's kind of a big point to it.
Yeah.
So it's either going to go one direction or the other with this one. On top of the fact that off of this layoff, we get back to a 2 turns. He's only done the 2
Yeah.
turns once or twice before. So that's going to be the big question here. Because Mikey Dralis doesn't run a whole lot. We don't
Hmm.
have a ton of really big stats as far as because I get kind of barn trends. We don't have a lot to go off of. So there we have it. Work is Life, the number 3 underneath. Derby Nest for Brittany and Sheldon Russell coming second off of a little bit of time in between races.
Yeah, the only thing that bugged me about this horse is, with Jamie Ness last time at 90 cents on the dollar and
Hmm.
was a very distant third. So that kind of bugged me. Brittany's, as as we know, as good as anybody here, but you got to
Sure.
try to improve off Jamie Ness, which is
Right.
easier said than done. And this
Yep.
horse didn't do a lot of running last time. And that's a 4 horse field, so it beat 1 horse home.
Exactly. The only thing that I go with it is that Stuart Grant doesn't claim a lot.
Hmm.
Brittany doesn't claim a lot, and she's claimed off of Jamie, and it has worked well over the time in the winter. So I'm just saying, hey, let's go on the bandwagon. On top of that, Brittany Russell winning the Pimlico meet title last year. She's 10 for 36 from Laurel Runners to Pimlico. They've been running well so far for this meet thus far. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bandwagon it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that she bumps this horse up in class, too. I mean, that's a confident move right there in front of you.
Also, maybe, yeah, she still keeps this horse in the tag for 62.5. Goodbye note, we have to include Hamby Smith just because you do on a day like today with Victor Carrasco. Sticking around for that 62.5, you have to hope for better going back to 2 turns.
Back to 2 turns. That's a big deal. And that was his first start against winners last time, so he didn't embarrass himself.
Right.
It was an extreme. You won't find a faster race for that kind of level here either.
Exactly. Race number 4, as Brian goes 6-3-4-2, is a maiden claiming 30,000. Also starts Brian's late pick 5 ticket here today. Starts with a single on the
Yeah,
14.
I mean, we got to just rip the Band-Aid off. I think this is a great spot for the 14 here in Gara because, recency, proven dirt form, and you don't really know what you're going to get from some of the rest of these. We talked about race 5 with the spread. Race 6 is a little tricky, but I agree with you that Dissolute, I think, I'm sure Kath Lynch isn't complaining that this race is on the main track at all in there, but I did use a few others. Race 7, you can see just too deep. Now, race 7 is going to have a real strong favorite, but I actually put Angel of Canterbury on top, the 3 horse, and to get out of the sequence, you've got the 12, and I do too. I just think that's the type of race where you can be a little tighter, and the fact that Rarefied Flair is now going to run on the main track off the Nest Claim, I think you better look out.
Oh, absolutely. Back to the. Actually, we're trying that horse for the dirt
Yeah.
for the first time. $24 for Brian in that late pick 5. Starts in race number 4, as I mentioned, in that maiden 30,000. Off the turf, going 5 on the dirt. Scratches in the 2, 6, 7, 10, 11, 15, and 16, the 12, 13, and 14 run, that's where we land on your Yangara and the 14. As you just mentioned, coming in the right spot for Rudy Sanchez Solomon and Kevin Gomez.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, now we're going off the claim from Brittany Russell, so that could be a little tricky, but handled a sloppy track last time. That was off a little bit of a freshening as well. 40 cents on the dollar, I get it, but the other thing today is now we've got a somewhat watered down field where horses off layoffs, turf horses now. No, this is a dirt horse through and through with recency.
It's a pretty easy grab there. Yeah. Talking about the number 8 in Watch Out World, Chad Summers, Carol Cedeno, comes off of that Brittany run in the Timonium of last year. So this is first off. This is just first off the layoff for Chad Summers, and you know him a little bit better as he runs a little bit more down at Gulfstream, especially during that winter meet.
Yeah, it's just, he's going to take over some of these Al Gold horses now, and he's worked with Al for a bit now. It's just where you been. That's all.
Yeah.
He hasn't been out since September.
I get it.
You got Brittany formerly training this horse. Horse wasn't even favored at Timonium, which I thought was a little odd. Gelding, Lasik, so this could be go time today.
That's kind of, I'm trying to see what kind of, price. Again, it's a bit of a shortened up field, but I still stick with, seeing if I can get maybe a little bit of a price to maybe go with an exacta. Not likely, but there we are. Chad Summers, 10 for 20 in the money first after the layoff as of lately. So that's what attracted me a little bit as well. 14.841. Anything to really add? The George A. Duarte Jr. horse, the MTO Unswayed with Georgie Ruiz, certainly attractive here today.
Yeah, you got to look at this horse for sure. Now, you get nothing out of the works because they're painfully slow, but that's how he works his horses all the time. So they're going to be ready. There's a slew of them here. I mean, that's a positive. Homebred for we'll see what we get. It's kind of tab the tote board here. I think especially now with 2 horses that are going to be taking money, if he's up there at 8-12 to 1, I don't know if that's a very good sign.
Well, then there we have it. 14.841 for Brian there in race number 4. We will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Sunday's card.
I'm vanilla, baby. I'm choky, but I ain't no killer, baby. She 28, telling me I'm still a baby. I get love in Detroit like Skilla, baby. And the thing about your boy is I don't like no whips and chains, and you can't tie me down. But you can whip Young Jackaka.
And we're back for the start of our late pick 4 here in race number 5. A claiming 12.5 going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 2, Homecoming King. Stays pretty intact here. You and I both land on the number 4 Money Room. Why not? We can take a quick look at Claceris Toriaba. Gets a similar... There's in that track that we saw, there was just a touch of moisture previous. So I can see this horse liking this track today, actually.
Yeah, and this is just a runoff win, too. And I know we face winners today for the first time, but he comes in off the right kind of effort, the right kind of race. Going to have to do it at 2 turns today. I get that. But this is a good spot to have to face winners here. I mean, there's a lot in here that has gone a lot very undistinguished, and he's coming in off that romp.
Right. No, it's pretty cut and dry why we have this one on top. Bob Glaceris, 6 for 21 as of recently, winning 2 in a row. Teaming up with Toriaba, where Toriaba just lost his apprenticeship, and he gave us 2 wins yesterday. Phenomenal ride, so we can expect much of the same. The number 5 that you have underneath is what a hard man what a hard man, Fided, Danny McKenzie, Yomar Ortiz here coming in. Just the 2 turns. It's the 2 turns for me.
Yeah, I'm going to call him the 5 horse.
Thank you.
Middle moved last time and maybe it was a little bit premature, I guess.
Yes.
First time gelding, I think, is a big
Mm-hmm.
deal. I like that a lot. And he's got proven two-turn form, and that was a good race last time. Whether he moved too early or not, it was still better than what he's been doing. So now we get the gelding angle. Maybe and he's going to should be a square price in here too.
No, absolutely. You also go with I Had Enough underneath for Gina Robb stretching out, and the inside horse and Omar coming for Rudy Sanchez Solomon and Kevin Gomez.
Well, if they don't run with the 7 early, he could
Right.
get very brave.
Exactly.
Because there's not a lot of speed in here. He's going to stretch out to 2 turns. He's certainly bred for it with jump start on the bottom, a little Overbrook horse for Wayne Lucas back in the day. This is a scary horse, and I think he's a definite use.
Nope, absolutely. 4-5-7-1 for Brian in race number 5. Race at number 6 as we go to our jackpot super high 5 race. A little bit of a carryover there, gearing it up in this allowance, off the turf allowance, going 5 furlongs here on the dirt today. Scratches in the 2, 10, 11 to 16. You and I both land on the number 3 Dissolute. Cal Lynch, J. Ron Barbosa. Since we're off the turf here, this one's a solid go.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a guess, but the work's kind of
Sure.
certainly whisper ready. I mean,
Right.
we've got bullets here, and they've worked very well. Barn is not ideal off this kind of layoff, just 1 for 8, 1 for 16. But I said it earlier, I don't think there's a complaint here that they're getting a dirt course to run over.
Yep.
That's all that she's done. If there's a worry, the layoff, certainly. Those are 2-year-old filly races, so she's not only facing older horses for the first time, she's never even faced 3-year-olds. I got a feeling she's live and ready to roll, though, today.
Yeah, absolutely. With those works coming in,
Yeah.
just kind of knocking on the door there, ready to pop off. Let's talk about the number 6 Wonder Girl. First time against winners from the 45 level for Bob Caceres Toriaba again.
Yeah, awesome win last time, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're going to have to step it up. This is a much, much better group, but that was her first dirt start in a long time,
Uh-huh.
and it was off a layoff, too.
Yes.
And she drew very, very well in here to be outside the favorite, probably, and a horse that's probably going to be on the lead, too.
Nope, it's pretty cut and dry. Here's the thing. This one can handle early pressure that she is going to be getting from that Cal Lynch horse. So you have to just roll with the horses that are giving you confidence as well. So just kind of gearing back the 8 and the 1. With the 1 Lady Serenity, I was with this horse on and off my ticket. I'm glad you have the 8 on top and winked for Ed Merriman, Forest Boyce. I was just fighting to have this horse on my picks.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know exactly what we're going to get from her. Turf is better, for sure, I think. But if this melts down, she's probably going to run on late.
She typically does well off of the layoff
Yeah.
as an individual. So I wouldn't be surprised if she jumps up and does well. Just going to she likes an aggressive ride. So going to just see what we can get on the day today.
She literally is eerily similar to what happened last year. December 9th layoff to an off-the-turf race on May 14th. To this year, it's December 16th to May 12th, and she ran very well in that spot last year.
No, exactly. So hard to argue against 3, 6, 8, 1 for Brian in race number 6. Race number 7 is a 1.16 mile allowance event that stays on the dirt as intended for these girls 3 and up. Scratches in the 5, Marley's Ghost. You go with the number 3, as do I, Angel of Canterbury for Jamie Ness. Jamie Rodriguez fought hard to the last little bit of it in that 1-turn mile effort that we have over here. Gets to the 2 turns for the first time. I don't necessarily see it as an issue.
No, and I think she's loose and controlling in here. I don't see anybody that wants to run with her early because they're probably going to theoretically pay the price late, and they know that. This was a really, really game effort here. Can we handle 2 turns? Well, it's a guessing game, but look at the pedigree with Bellamy Road on the bottom. Certainly says, it's in there, and maybe the flow of this race helps her out. And, oh, by the way, she's run once here, and she's won on the Pimlico main track.
Exactly, and if we stay muddy and we're still going to be having, we're talking about race 7, we're still going to be having a little bit of moisture by the time we get to 3:30 in the afternoon. She's won on an off track before, so we combine all of that. She looks pretty deadly here for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez. The number 7 to the outside is going to be Northern Glow. Brittany and the other, big jockey trainer combination. We have Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez, then Brittany and Sheldon Russell in Northern Glow. She's always knocking at the door, just not getting the best of luck sometimes.
No, and I don't.
She's not flashy. She's the Angel of Canterbury is going to be flashy.
Yeah, and I don't really know if she wants to win, to be honest with you. She's 80 cents on the dollar, 90 cents on the dollar, second, third. She's going to have to step it up. She's going to have to show a little more fight in the lane, and she's going to be bet real hard again. Our horse is going to be a much better price, too, and that's kind of something I'm sure you factored in as I did, and I don't trust this horse. And I know she's run second in all three starts on off tracks, but our horse got 2 wins too, so I
You
think that's a
trust her
big
for
deal.
second.
I trust her for second. Yeah, I wouldn't want to take too short of a number over though on top.
Let's talk. Let's just discuss really quickly the number one, Bella Paloma. Kelly Rubley, Ben Curtis back here in the Mid Atlantic circuit, put in a decent fight coming back from that Fairgrounds to Laurel effort.
Yeah, no, she ran well, and she's probably got a little class to her being at the fairgrounds over the winter. But I don't know about her running style today with a race that we kind of think is going to have a lack of speed, and she's going to drop out the back and probably have to loop them all. I know she was running on late last time behind Northern Glow, but that's kind of what she does every time. And there's a lot of losses here that are strung together.
Well, and on top of that, in the fairgrounds, yes, she had that one run at fairgrounds on the 1st of January opening up 2024, but she after that she was entered 4 times for turf events. One was an AE, 2 were MTOs though, so we can just kind of roll with that. But then the one time it was an off the turf event on the fairgrounds, she was a trainer scratch. So it's for me it's the she's won on the wet fast before, but I just need to see it again at this type of level here
Yeah,
today.
I agree. I think she's against it in terms of the race flow too.
Yep, absolutely. 3714 for Brian there in race number 7. And our last race of the day for the weekend before we get into Preakness weekend, of course, is race number 8, an off the turf event at Pimlico. Of course, mile and 16th. Brian, you and I both go the same route. The race kind of runs through the 12, a little bit of the 7.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're going to try off the claim here for Jamie Ness after doing the Kentucky thing at Turfway, the Topeka thing as well. But this is a gelded son of Honor Code, who, if you remember back in the day, I mean, Honor Code was a Grade 1 horse, but he absolutely freaked in the slop on debut at Saratoga. From about 20 lengths out of it, I think. So this horse might really like this racetrack today.
I have a feeling, yeah, no, absolutely. So 16% with his progeny off that wet track. Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. Synthetic to dirt, though. 3 for 10 for Jamie Ness, either first or second. So he's had this horse since what? Late March, early April. He's got the Jamie Ness stamp on him for sure, so we can expect that. As far as the 7 goes, Maryland Moon, we're just looking for an improvement here. First time on a wet track, just kind of see what we can get there.
Yeah, he's run okay on the dirt, so I think that probably gives him a leg up on the 12, who's going to be a huge favorite. The other thing is, too, there's now with the scratch down field, they're all pretty much stone cold closers, which means they're all going to probably be lumped together on the track out there, and it's going to be a sprint off the far turn. So I think that kind of flatters the 12 as well, because he's not at the mercy of what could be the pace today.
Perfect. Well put, Brian. And Brian, thank you so much. That is us for the morning show. We are going to head over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.